What's going on lately when it comes to Quant? Well, I'll explain. The price may not be doing much of anything, but actually, remember not too long ago, Quant joined the X402 Foundation, in which case we take a look at the members of that specific foundation, right? We'll see something like Amazon Web Services, Google, Microsoft, Visa, MasterCard, Stripe, and many others. So Quant, lately, I get it, the price hasn't been doing too much, but in terms of the fundamentals, in terms of the actions behind the scenes, they're actually still doing things, and I'll get all into that in today's video. But I first want to clarify, I'm not telling anyone to do anything, just my mindset, perspective, and review, and nothing I say is financial advice. Now, if we take a look at it, sure, people like to say, well, Quant, it's below $70, not really doing much. But again, need I remind people, not too long ago, they did join the X402 Foundation. They also, not too long ago, launched the mainnet of Fusion Rollup. So that's pretty legendary, not to mention we take a look at when it comes to the X402 Foundation, what is even the intent of that, right? The intent of that is to help, I guess, build infrastructure standards for the AI agent economy, and it's very centered around payments. So we gotta let that sink in. The fact that we see members of that foundation, like in the case of Microsoft and all this, what that's gonna allow Quant to do is to have a better pathway for communication, right? Because for quite some time, I feel like they had to kind of do things the more hard way, in a sense where they have to contact something that's pretty massive, they have to pitch their idea and all this. It's just a little bit tough. But by being in that X402 Foundation, what that allows Quant to do is to have a better pathway. Imagine if they want to contact something like Amazon Web Services in the future, or something like Stripe and all this. It's easier for them to do that because they can say, hey, you know what? We're both a part of the same foundation in terms of being a member. So again, that could be so fantastic when it comes to Quant. I think sometimes people don't think about this, but actually through Quant joining the X402 Foundation, it's going to allow for, I guess, Quant to have a better pathway. Now keep in mind, they announced this back in early July. So it's nothing like that's really that new, and I even made a video talking about it at that time, but I feel like, people kind of forgot about it. So I wanted to make this video to make it a little bit more specific, to talk about kind of just how I think it could impact Quant, because at the time I was more so talking about, how cool I thought it was, but now I really want to talk about the hypothetical impact it could bring when it comes to Quant. So through this, Quant could have better connections, better networking opportunities, and I think just a better chance to collaborate and have partnerships moving forward with the members of the X402 Foundation. This is just basically to explain that, hey, you know what, Quant, as of late, sure, the price hasn't been doing the best, but they're still doing things, so that's what's going on lately when it comes to Quant. I get it, a lot of people like to say, oh, it's not really doing much, but I kind of disagree with that, personally, just in my opinion. And Quant, the use case is still there. I mean, okay, if I take a look at it objectively speaking, what bad thing happened to Quant? I can't really think of much other than the price. But even that is very debatable because I don't mind low prices, because I don't mind the dip. But if we take a look at it, what bad thing happened to it fundamentally? Take a look at the Quant network. It's still doing its thing. Take a look at the Overledger OS. Take a look at the Overledger network. It's still doing its thing. The maximum supply when it comes to Quant is still around 14.8 million. So in terms of the tokenomics, it still seems pretty solid. In terms of the use case, still seems pretty solid. What bad thing happened to it? Okay, again, the price went down. But really, if we take a look at it, is it really down that much anyways? In December 2024, the price was around $140. Now, it's around 64 bucks. So it went down quite a significant amount. I mean, we're over 2 times away from that as of right now, around $140. But if we think about it, for the category of an altcoin, it's actually not so low, in a sense where Bitcoin, it's around 64 grand, 65 grand and all this. The all-time high, I mean, if we think about it, the journey to there is just around 2 times from where Bitcoin is as of right now. And again, Quant going back to December of 2024, the journey would also be around 2 times. Over 2 times, but I think you get what I mean. For the category of an altcoin, this didn't go down so much in the grand scheme of things, because we see some other projects out there, especially when it comes to an altcoin, reach a new all-time low. In some cases, they're down multiple times, like lower than their peak in 2024 and all this. But when it comes to Quant, I mean, yes, it's down, but it isn't doing anything so like outlandish like that. And even if it did go lower, I'm just saying in a pure hypothetical, I don't really mind anyways because I don't mind the dip. That's the thing. So I just don't really know what bad thing happened to it actually, in my opinion, if I even want to take a look at it that way, but that's just my personal perspective. I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but again, that's just my mindset. If I take a look at it as well, people oftentimes like to tell me that the use case when it comes to quant is obsolete. But I just don't agree with that because keep in mind, not only does this have a partnership with Oracle, historically I've seen, but then also on top of that, when it comes to the Quant network, again, it's made up of the Overledger OS and the Overledger network. The Overledger OS literally could help developers build applications in such a fantastic way. I'm not joking. The Overledger OS allows individuals to actually build applications that sit on top of multiple blockchains instead of just one. So imagine a developer doesn't have to be stuck with one blockchain. They can use this blockchain and supplement the weakness of that blockchain with another one. They could quite essentially make an app that is just a lot more dynamic because they don't have to be stuck with one blockchain. That's the thing. So again, if we think about Quant, they're trying to revolutionize, I think, arguably the way people build apps. We got to think about that. No wonder this has almost 170,000 holders, despite the price not being the best. That's just what I realized. Now, if we take a look at it, people sometimes like to tell me that I'm kind of, talking about the supply in too high of a regard. They say that, no one really cares if the supply is around 14.8 million. But I disagree with that because I think it's actually quite impressive, especially if we consider how Bitcoin's maximum supply is 21 million. So imagine if Bitcoin's maximum supply was around 14.8 million. A lot of people would be like celebrating, right? However, this has a maximum supply that's around 14.8 million and suddenly considered bad? No, I disagree with that. I think personally, I'm a fan of the use case. And then also on top of that, the supply, relatively speaking, when compared to Bitcoin, is quite low. And then the amount of holders, almost 170,000. Again, the maximum supply of Quant is over 6 million less than that of Bitcoin, if we compare again just the maximum supply. So when it comes to Quant, I just don't really know what bad thing happened to it. Now, I'm still dollar cost averaging once a month, that's it. But I'm not telling anyone to do anything. But at the same time, what's going on lately when it comes to Quant? They've been doing a lot of things. Like, for instance, launching the mainnet of Fusion Rollup, joining the X402 Foundation, and then also on top of that, just simply still doing their thing. I mean, they recently sponsored an event not too long ago in London, England. So would something that's struggling be able to do that? I highly doubt it, right? Sponsoring an event, I'm pretty sure it's pretty expensive. And even Gilbert Verdian, the founder and CEO of Quant, he was at that event, and Quant sponsored that event. So they've been doing a lot of things lately. Do I know when the market could recover? No. But as of right now, some altcoins have been slightly recovering. I mean, Quant hasn't really recovered in the past 24 hours, but it could change, right? Especially if, let's say, this overall slight recovery were to continue when it comes to this space. But I'm just saying, at least in terms of fundamentals, I'm seeing a lot of things go on lately. Maybe not in the past 24 hours when it comes to the price charts, though it could be different by the time I upload this video, but I'm just saying, as of right now, I'm still seeing things go on, and I'm still dollar cost averaging once a month. That's kind of it. But I'm not telling anyone to do anything. However, I'll be sure to make more upcoming videos when it comes to Quant. If there's any updates or anything like that, I'll be sure to make a video on it. So I want to say thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a very wonderful day.